Alright, so good morning everybody, and make sure I can see your name tags are perfect, okay. Will anyone read for me the objective today? Go ahead, Taylor.
Today I will define absolutism so I can identify the leaders it pertains to and know what they accomplish. I will know it when I will be able to pinpoint the causes and effects of the societies that practice absolutism in Europe.
So we're talking about this thing, absolutism, okay? We are going to watch a video about what it is, this absolute monarchy. And I would like you to open your notebooks to page 102. And you're going to write the question, what is an absolute monarchy? And we'll figure it out and the video will answer it for us. Page 102. And we're going to use 102 all day today, okay? So anything below it, and also a worksheet we're going to have as well. So what is an absolute monarchy? All right? Are you ready?
So today we're going to be talking a little bit about absolute monarchies and how they work. Even though almost every government in the world used to be an absolute monarchy, there's actually only very few left around the world today. So once upon a time in some faraway land, let's call it Class Rumia. It was ruled by a king, and we'll call him Karl for fun. Karl was in charge of the kingdom of Class Rumia, and he rather liked it. No one really told him what to do, and if you wanted to celebrate a holiday, or punish someone, or go to war, no one could argue with him. This is mainly because Karl and all of his subjects, the people living in Class Rumia, believed that Karl's right to rule came straight from God himself. This is called the divine right of kings. We say divine because his authority and power came from God, and right because everyone believed he was born to be king and that no one could take that away from him. Now Class Rumia started to grow because people liked Karl as a ruler and decided they wanted to live under his rule. Unfortunately, Karl could no longer spend all day long running his kingdom and needed help. So he knighted some of his favorite subjects and then gave them small areas of land they could rule over themselves. Even though they were in charge of their little areas, or we call them fiefdoms, Karl was still the top dog and all the power rested in him. Any small problems that came up throughout the day could be handled by the people who worked for him, but he still had the last say. The bigger Class Rumia got, the more people Karl had to hire to run his kingdom for him. When Karl started to get old and resigned from being king, his oldest son, Karl II, took over. Everyone in Class Rumia accepted him as king because of the divine right of kings. Basically, because he was Karl's son, everyone thought he was born to be king, just like his dad. Okay, now,
So what is an absolute monarchy? Yes, go ahead, Martin.
The king has all the power.
The king has all the power over who?
His subjects.
His subjects and his government, so everything. So what he says goes, right? Who gave him this power? Go ahead, Leah. God gave him this power. And what is that called? Divine right. Perfect. So, yeah, so he has this divine right that God gave him the authority to rule. So now, I am going to give you the authority to rule. For just a second. And we are going to have our own Class Rumia in here. Okay, in our Class Rumia, you're going to find a partner, or you can have two or three in a group. You guys are going to be the king or queen, whichever you want to be. You guys can be two kings, two queens, it's up to you guys. And you are practicing absolutism. What you say goes, okay? And you can change things in school. So you can change all different kinds of things, and you can be creative on this, I promise. So you can change like the time of school maybe, so then you don't want to go to school too early. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to school till 8 or something like that, maybe 8 to 3 or an hour shorter. Dress code, maybe there's something you like to wear. Breaks be longer instead of 5 minutes or something like that, like 10 or 12 minutes. Lunchtime, maybe you can go somewhere for lunch. How about the food? You can have different kinds of food, like Olive Garden. It's up to you. There's many different examples. Think about what you would like to do. So, get in your groups and chalk. I'm going to give you 5 minutes for 5 different rules. If you have time, you can do more. It's up to you. And we're going to do it on page 102. Okay? Go ahead. And be specific too, so when you say shorten the day, tell the time of the day too. What kind of food? Be specific.
Okay, I guess you're right.
I got paranoid, I wanted to check.
Oh, what?
Later in the day.
Four fingers.
Okay.
Wait, no, I thought, no, if you do less, okay, two, one finger, don't be
And so like I think that just from a certain place anything you can give it.
Chinese food. Okay, yeah, just kind of yeah, 6 minutes is supposed to be good. I always miss school.
Okay, we can get that.
I believe I'm almost positive.
I mean, why am I writing on these hats? Okay, so
You shorten the day.
I want to say 2:45, but they changed it because of like, they did change it like last year, so they did it longer class than my last year.
Middle school, I went out 7:30, got out at
Well,
At 9.
Well, I went to a 9.
Same.
I went to a 9.
Oh, okay. Did you go in Sarasota? Where was it?
okay.
I went to LLT Academy.
Is that around here?
Yeah, it's on, next part.
Oh,
Next
national.
part.
Wait, about a 20-minute break.
All right, we've got about 2 more minutes to make our 5 rolls. And I'm gonna talk about it.
No, they have
No one.
No more than 30
Or as Mr. Murphy calls it, end of every conference.
The food. Well, yeah.
It's like, oh, but it's
Okay.
Better lunch.
What about the back passes? Go on.
Instead of just everyone taking
I
it
don't
back,
accept
why don't we all wait
Okay, we're not doing that. How about,
Okay, 1 more minute. Let's write down our last thoughts, our last rules.
And it'll never be like,
Alright, let's do
we
that.
can't stop that from happening.
well,
You should be able to paint, have you ever seen the schools that paint the parking lots, like their parking spots? We should be able to do that. God, we should be able to,
Okay, so let's talk about it. So let's write down each one. We're all gonna have time to talk about it if you like. Who would like to share their rules or the new things they're gonna change? Go ahead, Madison.
okay. We said, for lunch, you should be able to leave. You should be able to have an outside drink, so like a Polar Pop or like a drink from anywhere. You should be able to have bathroom passes. Like, we don't have bathroom passes.
We should have room.
Our passing period should be 8 minutes long because there's too many children in this school. And we also said that like other schools, they paint their parking or they're like where they park, their parking spaces, and they make money for like prom and stuff. We should be able to do that.
Wow, that is really awesome. I actually didn't know that. They make money for like charities, is that what it is?
Well, like or like raise money for like your class, so like you can
Okay.
like prom or stuff like that. Yes.
That's awesome. Express yourself. I like that one. Another group, go ahead.
One, I said, like they said, you can leave for lunch, and like how they have it in college where each one is like a different restaurant, so like Chick-fil-A and stuff like that.
So what restaurants would you want?
Chick-fil-A, of course.
Chick-fil-A, every-
Starbucks.
Taco Bell.
I've heard that a couple times, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell.
Subway.
I said
Subway.
That's the good
Monday
old
should be
Subway.
the full day, and like Friday should be like a half day. I said you have the right to excuse yourself from like problems, so like if you're like have like about to fight or whatever, you can like leave and calm down.
Like you go walk out the classroom.
I said the bathrooms should be in the classrooms, like how they have like full stalls and stuff, so like skipping won't be a problem, it's like right in the classroom. I said there shouldn't be a dress code during the summer, because that's just crazy.
It's hot.
And then I said you should be able to decorate your lockers like how they did on Victoria's, so you can like decorate it, especially summer.
I like the decorating stuff, the parking spot, the lockers, I like it. Let's turn, here, yep, go ahead, Hunter.
Okay, the school time should be from 8 to 2. You can leave for lunch. You have a 20-minute nap time.
I like that.
And,
There's a nap period.
what was the, oh yeah, no, the homework can't be like more than 30 minutes a night. They have to limit it.
All together or one subject?
Altogether.
Okay.
And the bathrooms will always have paper towels and soap.
They just did a lot.
There's never soap
There's
or
never
paper
soap.
towels.
And there's no such thing as paper towels.
Or toilet paper, yeah, that's a big one. And has to be 2-ply or up.
I like it. Maybe you know, maybe things will change. You never know. How about over here? Hope we have Hope and Jonathan, right?
Yeah, we said, a lot of the ones that have already been said, we just want to shorten the school day to end at 2. Like, it doesn't have to start any later, it should just end earlier. And then, similar to what Hunter said, limit, but we said 1 page of homework per class per day, like at most. And then you should be allowed to leave campus at lunch.
So yeah, I like that one, right? You can choose which one. Or just bring all the restaurants on campus, you know, then you wouldn't have to leave.
And they'll make money from it too.
And they'll make money from it. I like it. Okay, so in this absolute monarchy, you get to choose, and anything you say goes. So this is their kind of theory on that. So let's talk about it some more. We're going to pass out this paper. It is going to go on page 102. So we're still on 102. We're going to hinge it on top of it. We have 4 people, and we're going to talk about them and what they have to do with absolute monarchy. My family guy. You know, I like it. No one said that today yet. Alright. Should be 3. If you get any extras, just pass it up. Sarah, what page are we on? 102.
Here,
Awesome. Got it. We got it. 103.
You use clothing. You use clothing.
Lowest XIV. Teacher is great.
Maria,
What questions are we supposed to do?
Maria, Teresa. Teresa. Philip.
Okay, so let's read who are we going to be talking about. Who wants to read the first one? Who is that, the first one?
Second.
Philip second. Okay, the second one. Louis 14. 14, yes. We've got the third one,
Peter the Great.
Peter the Great, and the fourth one?
Maria Teresa.
So Maria Teresa, yes. So we've got these 4 people who we're going to be talking about. When we do talk about them, or when I talk about them, I would like you to write down the country, where they're from, where do they rule, the type of government. Hint, hint. We kind of talked about the type of government already. Improvements and downfalls. So I would like you to write in here downfalls too. You can write improvements or downfalls. It's up to you. And I would like 2 in here. So 2 things in here. And then other important information, also 2 things. Okay. Any questions? What we need to fill in? No? All right. So let's begin. So, I know we've gone over it, but so what is the definition of absolutism or an absolute monarchy? Go ahead, Jonathan.
The king rules over all.
So the king rules over all. Perfect. Tatiana, will you read that definition?
A ruler with complete authority over the governments and the lives of the people who believe they had a divine right.
And what is that divine right we talked about, Madison?
Isn't it like power from God?
Power from God, exactly. So God, people think, he's allowed to do this because people think, and he thinks that God gave him the authority to rule. So because of this, we have the absolute monarchy. So we have the first one. First one is Philip II. So he ruled as an absolute monarchy for 42 years. He was an absolute monarch. He expanded Spanish influence. So where was he from? Spain, exactly. He was from Spain. He did it through many things, but we'll talk about war and wealth a little bit later. He married 4 times. Why would be getting married help?
You can bounce ideas off of them.
Bounce ideas off of them? Okay, maybe. You probably did that.
Give a kid to pass his royalty onto.
Pass his royalty onto, exactly, and kids.
But yeah, who gets the power next? You choose.
Who gets the power next can choose.
Gain wealth.
Gain wealth. How does he gain wealth?
Well, if we married someone of higher wealth, then they both would have, then the king would have both wealth combined, really.
Exactly. What else would he get?
Kids.
What's that wealth consist of?
Gold.
Army,
Land.
Like land that the other person had.
land. Perfect. Good job, Jonathan. Land, exactly. So land, wealth. I mean, a lot of it goes through wealth, but land is wealth. Money, army, a lot of different things. So this is one way he got the Spanish influence to expand. Also through war. He gained Portugal through war. He also became the defender of the Catholic Church through the victories against the Turks. And this is very important. The Catholic Church is very influential at this time. So for him to be the defender of the Catholic Church and have him under his wing is very important. Again, he did that through the victory against the Turks. And where's this? Does anybody know?
Is that the, I know it's called the Vatican.
The Vatican, yes, perfect. So this is in
Good
the
job.
Vatican City. All right, so now we're talking about wealth. So we have he married, his marriages, the war, and his wealth for Spain. So if you look at this, it starts off in Spain, right? We've got this blue tribe that comes from Spain. It comes to the New World, comes to the Americas, and it's picking up materials and goods and silver and gold and all these different things that provides this wealth. He comes to South America. One goes to South America, one goes to Mexico, and then they gather everything from up here to Cartagena and Panama, and they go to Havana. Then this one goes to Mexico, gets their things, comes to Havana. They meet in Havana with all these goods and all these material things and all this silver, all this money, and not money necessarily, but goods that that cost things, are expensive. And they go all the way back to Spain. This is how they gather all their wealth. And look, we're here as well. So we've got Florida, and Florida is part of Spain. You know, Spain owns this territory right now. Why do you think, after this ship goes right here, why do you think Florida is so important to them? When they have this ship full of good stuff.
They could just stop there. They need to.
They could stop there if they need to. What could be dangerous for this ship in the water, in the sea?
Sharks.
Sharks, no.
Weather.
But pirates, yes. So I mean, sharks could be, if they fall over, they could be probably dangerous. But pirates is the main thing. So they had pirates that would come and how would it help for them to own this land?
They could cross it, not have
They-
to go
Yes,
around
they can
it.
go there, take cover. They can
Naval
protect
forces.
it. They can able it. Perfect. So they have protection. They wanted to protect it. It was actually really important in Florida. They wanted to keep Florida for a very, very long time. Okay. So he did have an enemy. His enemy was Queen Elizabeth I. She was a Protestant, and she supported the Dutch against Spain, first secretly and then not so secretly. She supported the plundering of Spanish treasure fleets and cities in America. So that treasure fleet we were talking about, she would actually talk to like pirates and like get them to steal stuff. So he was not having it. So then he was like, so Philip II was not having it. So he decided to gather an armada to go to England and invade them pretty much. Well, he took about 130 ships, 2,000 men, and made it to the English Channel, and then England counteracted them and outnumbered them, had lighter ships, and defeated them. So it kind of backfired on Philip II. All right, so that's Philip. Now we're going to Louis. So Louis is in France. So Louis XIV is in France. he is the great-grandson of Philip II, so this is the only family we're going to be talking about right now. He also believed it was his divine right to rule, so that absolute monarchy is in for him as well. His symbol was a sun. He used the sun on a lot of different things. Any kind of, if you see that's the symbol of him on the bottom with the sun around in his back, you'll see the sun in a lot of places. Does anyone know why someone who believes in absolute monarchy and thinks it's his divine right to rule would choose the sun for a symbol? Go ahead.
You raised the hand.
Okay, go ahead.
You can go if you want. Do you wanna go?
You raised
We'll both go. How about Hunter, since you raised your hand first, you go, and then Dustin will help you out.
Because the sun is like represents life, because you need the sun to live.
Okay, so it's very important. This is a very important symbol. Very good.
Reaching towards like the heavens with the sun in the sky.
So reaching towards the heavens and that divine right with God. Okay. What else do you think? They're all good answers. They're all good. They're all correct. Anything else? Tatiana?
I just want to say anything like revolves from this, that's what gives it a sense of importance.
Bam, you got it. So, these are all very correct as well, but he really thought that everything, his nation revolved around him, just like the sun, everything revolved around the sun. So this is why he chose the symbol. He also never called upon the States General, which is like a French council in medieval times, that would help the king and talk to him. He would never do anything like this. He would, all his decisions were on his own. So there was no checking of the royal power. No one checked up on him. He also, during his time, it was called a splendid century of the arts. So when I say this, he changed and improved a lot of different things. He changed drama, music, painting, architecture, everything you can think of. People looked up to France. They changed their ways for to mirror France as well. One thing that I think is very unique, and I actually saw at my own eyes, was Versailles in Paris. It's a little bit outside of Paris, but it's still considered Paris. You get off the train, you go, this is the road that you go on now, and you get in there. And when you look at it, it's so bright, it looks like the sun. It doesn't look too bright in this picture, but it literally just looks like the sun, it's so bright. And it's just, everything is so miraculous and just very pretty and just out there. And in this place, it's really big. They even had their servants live with them as well. And around it, behind here in the garden, there's mazes and there's animals and zoos and stuff they used to have. So all of it is really, really big. And it's definitely a splendid century of the arts. Definitely a good word for it. Okay, so when he finished his reign, it was the strongest state in Europe when he finished. But after that, there was a downfall. There was a couple reasons for downfalls. The wars to expand France. Why do you think the wars to expand France would be a downfall? What happens with wars?
Death, money.
Deaths, money, exactly. So deaths, money, you know, I mean, even now we don't want to go to war because it costs a lot of money, right? So that's why, you know, after all this expansion, they just didn't have that much money. Also, he persecuted the Huguenots, which were hard-working people in their economy. He told them all to leave, pretty much, is what he told them. And why do you think this reason would cause a downfall for France?
Civil wars.
Civil wars? No. Yes, Emma.
They're losing the people who were doing hard work.
Exactly. That's it. So what's affecting it? It's affecting what?
Their economy.
Economy, exactly. So these are reasons for the downfalls of this. I think it's the last one. Yep, okay, so that was Louis XIV. Now we have our third person. Third person is Peter the Great. So Peter the Great, when he became the Tsar, he was only 10 years old. He didn't really start ruling until he was 17, but pretty much in a year you guys get to rule a whole country. Isn't that cool? A whole empire? That'd be petty. So he is responsible for taking Russia out of the medieval state, which at this time, Russia, you know, the Renaissance that we had, any reform, none of it touched Russia just quite yet. So, what he did is he thought it was important for them to get this Western culture and experience it and make it become their own as well. So he was very curious. He went out and he explored, and he learned how to everything from pull out a tooth from a dentist to paint. So he was very, very, very smart, very curious, and he did it all for the good of Russia and to westernize Russia and make it more modernized. His government was an autocratic government, which is pretty much the same. It's all about all about him. It's his decision. He makes the decisions.
What's the difference between?
The difference, I couldn't really find the difference on this, but I mean, when I read everything that he did and everyone else, it's very, very similar.
It's the same concept.
It's the same concept, yes. Again, he took control of all the institutions, even the church. Again, the church is underneath him. He improved military from scratch, by the way. Improved military from scratch, education, waterways. And he also forced society to modernize, or westernize. So he would take the men and have them shave their beards because it looked more like Western culture. He would have parties where he would kind of force the men and women to interact with each other. So it was kind of something that not everyone was willing to change. Not everyone is willing to always change, and change isn't always, good for everybody. But he believed to make Russia successful that you needed to change. So he would take these people who would cause trouble and he would torture them and execute them. So.
Okay.
Not that none of them, the other ones didn't do that either, but. And he also encouraged exports as well. So that was Peter. And then last but not least, we've got Maria Theresa. She is a Habsburg Empress in Austria. So a Habsburg Empress in Austria, Vienna, Austria. She is the first woman to rule in this empire, and it's also an absolute monarchy. And I would like someone to read that quote you have from her. Yes, Tyler.
I found myself all at once without money, without troops, and without advice.
So I found myself all at once without money, without troops, and without advice. Why do you think she said something like this?
I think, I guess that she's like a woman, it's like, you don't really take her seriously, so I guess she's like, I did all this by myself, and I hate like it.
That's exactly what it is. So her father died, Charles VI, and because she was a woman, she, people didn't take her seriously. Even though Charles VI, talked her up to everyone around her, or everyone around them, and they were about it, but then as soon as he had passed away, they were not. But despite all this, she did very well and ruled for 40 years in Vienna, Austria. For 40 years. So despite all the odds, she did it. So as soon as Charles VI died and she became empress, we had Frederick II from Prussia, and he went straight down and decided to take one of their provinces. So this is their province. So you see the yellow right here, sides from Austria. So he took that, and she said, and she's right over here, and this is all her, and her allies. These are her allies they become. So she comes to Hungary, and she pleads to help. She said, can you please help us with this war, this conflict? And so they do. After a little bit, they do. They do help her out, and so does Russia, and so does Britain. They end up all helping out to do this. They don't necessarily ever take it back, but they do help her keep her empire. So that's the main thing. She sees that's the main thing at the end. So her accomplishments were that she keeps her empire, and she also strengthens the Habsburg power. She reorganizes the bureaucracy, which means that she changes the hierarchy. She improves tax collection. This is, I think, is really cool about her. So she improves tax collection. She has the nobles. Who are the nobles? The top
People are under her,
people under her, but they
money.
got the money, right? The nobles have always have the money. And makes them pay taxes, which helps out the peasants a lot and takes up a huge burden for them. And that's what she does. She's very important. Now let's talk about it. Yes. Oh, you're not. I thought you were raising your hand. Okay, let's see. Let's fill it out now. So we have Philip II. So where is Philip II from? Hayden. Spain, yes. What type of government does he have, Olivia?
Absolute monarch.
Okay. So what improvements does he do? Right over here.
Emory.
Oh, expanding through welcome land.
Expanding. What was it, welcome war? And what else helped out with that?
His line.
His wives and marriages, yes, perfect, okay. Another one, what else did he do? Emma?
I have it down.
You can do downfall, that's fine.
He was defeated by Queen Elizabeth I in the English Channel.
Okay, so he was defeated by, was it his, did he set it up or did, England set it up?
I think England set it up.
Mm-mm.
No, he didn't.
He did, yes, he took the Armada and he went there and then it backfired on him, so, so we know that. But she was also causing trouble. Where was she causing trouble? The Bahamas, that area, the Caribbean, yes, what was she doing?
Pirates.
Yeah, she,
Pirates.
she was saying pirates to what?
Take their stuff.
Take your stuff from what? What was that important ship?
The ship,
There's the ships, what were the ships called? Anyone know? Anyone help them out?
boats.
Boats? What was that, where all the money was? So it was the treasure fleet, so that's what she was, affecting. Okay, and anything else that we know about him? Nia? Maya, oh, Maya.
He gained what you call the
Gained, Yep, Madison?
He ruled for 42 years.
Perfect, okay. So let's go to Louis the 14th. So what do we know about him? Or where is he from? What country?
Right.
France, perfect. His type of government?
Absolute monarch.
Alright, so we have improvements or downfalls that he did. Jacob, do you have something down there?
Louis?
For Louis, yes.
I did expanded France or is it, expanded France?
Okay, one more that we have in there, Jonathan?
Improved drama, music, painting, architecture, and everything like that.
So we'll put improved arts. Perfect. And he did, he really did. And put one more thing in the important information. Sarah, what do you have in that one?
Use the sun as a symbol because
Use sun as his symbol. Because what?
because everything about that.
Because everything revolves around the sun, exactly. I like that one. Alright, now we're gonna go to the third one. Peter the Great. He was in where?
Russia.
Russia. And what was his type of government?
Government.
Alright. His improvements or downfalls, either or. What does he have? Yes, Tyler?
I said he improved the military, education, and waterways.
Yes. Especially military and education, you know.
Yeah, the
And the waterways, of course, everything is important, but. And he did the military from scratch. He definitely had nothing to work with in the beginning. Okay, then another one, yeah?
I was really curious how which led to modernization.
Okay, perfect. Curious, like modernization. What did he bring over? What culture?
The Western.
The Western culture, exactly. So he, did he do it because, everybody wanted to?
No, he wanted to say.
Yes, he forced it on everybody. And one more important, anything else about him that we have?
Encourage exports.
Encourage exports, yes.
And more important,
Go ahead.
the control of all institutes,
Including what?
the church.
Including the church, yes. And he also got he got Russia out of, what? Medieval state, yes, that's a very good one. Okay, so Mary Teresa, where is she from?
Austria.
Austria, and what was her empire called? Habsburg. Is that what I'm sorry. Habsburg. So, what type of government did she have?
Absolute
Absolute
monarchy.
monarchy.
So we see a pattern here. Improvements or downfalls that she had? Tyler, yes.
She reorganized the bureaucracy and improved tax collection.
And improved tax collection. That's okay. Oh, can you, that's fine. And then one last thing about her, yes, Hope.
She warred with Frederick II from Prussia.
I'm sorry?
She fought wars with Frederick II.
Yes. She had nobles pay taxes, perfect. And that, because doing that, Tyler, why, what happened to the other, to people who maybe didn't have as much money?
That made it easier on the peasants and stuff like that.
Made it easier on the peasants, exactly, perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna do something a little cool. All right, so we have this, right? We are going to write a statement. And when you write this statement, we're gonna put the statement right over here. You cannot put the person's name. So when you say like, this person is from Spain. Now, no one can use the countries or the type of government because that's very easy. So anything else we have in here. So we're gonna write this person, get it so it's easier. You can't just use it for anybody, but just so you don't have the name. So you know the answer to it as well. Okay, so we're gonna play a little game with it. So write this statement. I'll give you about a minute and a half to write it. So this person, so on, so on, so on. And you can write it in your notebook or you can write it on that piece of paper, it's up to you. Or it can be a question as well, so it might be necessarily a statement, but. Okay. Now, I would like you momentarily, now 30 seconds, okay, for each side to figure out a name for yourselves, okay? No fighting, just think of a name. So this side's gonna have a name, this is gonna be one team, and this side's gonna have a name, and you guys are gonna be the other team, okay? So 30 seconds, think of a name, go.
Like our own personal name?
Team name, team name.
Oh, team name,
Johnson,
team,
You guys can be
Trump.
Daunting.
Team Trump.
Alright, you have a name over here?
Team Trump.
Team Trump, Dolphins are scared of the nervous.
I didn't come up with it.
They're like,
Okay,
She snapped at me.
team.
It's okay.
Donald.
Oh, we should have been
No
there.
politics.
Can we
Can we do
Donald?
Donald?
Donald Duck.
Team Duck, yeah.
Donald Duck.
Team Pence.
He's
Donald.
Like the time's up, but you can pick a name for them, because they can't figure it out.
Donald
Okay.
Duck. The Donald
Can I
Duck.
change ours real quick?
Oh, the Mighty Ducks.
How about the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah. Remember that movie?
Alright, I do. Okay, so now we have Daunting Dolphins and Mighty Ducks, okay? So, the Mighty Ducks are gonna go first, if that's okay. I'm going to choose someone at random. I'm going to choose Tyler. Is that okay? What you're going to do is you're going to first pick someone before you say the statement. I'm going to turn this off.
Is someone on my side or that side?
On the other side. Okay, so you're gonna choose someone on the other side. That person has the answer, so you guys can't help them out, okay? You are going to choose the person first.
Zero.
Okay. You are going to
Yes, sir.
read the statement. Tyler?
This person created a strong military from scratch and was a very skilled person in many activities due to his natural curiosity.
And you can answer. Say it one more time, Tyler.
This person created a strong military from scratch and was a very skilled person in many activities due to his natural curiosity.
Military from scratch, curiosity.
Is it the Lewis dude?
Okay, that's okay, that's fine. You guys have a chance to retaliate, don't worry.
I was thinking that too.
That's okay. So what you do now is you choose somebody from that side. You can choose whoever you like. Jacob, and read your statement.
This person used slavery.
What?
Long.
Philip II.
Yeah, perfect. Good job. My decks have a point. Okay, Jacob, same thing. Choose a
Oh,
person, then the statement.
Tough one. Emma.
Okay, and
Okay.
read your statement.
Okay. I'm gonna say it in the sense of I, so I'm like, okay. Okay. I westernize my culture after taking control of institutions around me.
That'd be Peter the Great.
Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. Good job. All right, so 1-1 right now. All right, Daunting Dolphins. Emma, you get a chance to pick someone first.
I'll pick a smart person.
Wow.
Haven.
Hayden, so read your statement.
This person ruled for 40 years.
Correct.
Oh my. Sorry.
Too late, you already said it.
Louis the 14th.
She already said it. Let's go.
Okay, so now we're back in the same. So we're even right now, okay? This is the third round. Haven, that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay. Good try.
That's okay. Yes, good try. I like that. Good try. So Haven, choose someone from this side. And read your statement.
This person was married 4 times. Philip II.
We're even right now, so it's okay.
No, not two.
Well, yes, because that's the third round though, so they still get a chance in the third
Come on,
round.
guys.
So, Hope, choose somebody.
Sarah. This person never called upon the Estates General.
I'm sorry?
Get it right.
Good job.
Good
Yeah,
job.
that's a good point.
Good job, Sarah.
This is the fourth round, okay?
So what is it, 2-2?
2-2, yes. Sarah, choose someone.
Emery.
Let's go, you got it.
Oh,
It's in the bag.
This person was very curious, which led to his country's modernization.
Don't know.
That would be Peter the Great.
We are the same person.
High five.
Good job.
Turkey.
3-2. So, now we get a chance to retaliate, don't worry. So, Anne-Marie, will you choose somebody?
Nick.
Yeah.
Just look at my face.
No.
This person was defeated by Queen Elizabeth I.
That would be Philip
the second.
Perfect.
Thank God.
Okay, so we're 3-3 going into the 5th round now. This is the last round, so it could be a tie, it's okay. And, Nick, choose someone on the side.
Yeah, Brandon.
Brandon. Here's your statement.
He was sleeping.
He's got a lot of stuff written down though, so,
Yeah.
okay?
This first improved tax collection.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
No, you want to guess?
I'm gonna guess.
The last one.
Yeah, the last one.
Oh my.
What was her
who's the
name?
last one? Come on, that's cheating. That's not cheating.
cheating.
Oh, you can't help each other.
Cheating.
You can't help each other.
We'll do a sudden death. Don't worry, I got a sudden death.
Either one of y'all have proof I cheated.
Okay, so you still get a chance, okay? So, Brandon, choose one of these people.
Who wants to go?
No.
Jacob, where you went?
I'll go.
Pick mine in the back.
Okay, and read your statement.
Who was the first person? Who was the first woman to rule Austria? Only woman on there.
Okay,
We get to retaliate.
now you do get, actually, we'll do a sudden death because that was the last round. Okay, so, who wants to be the representative of this side?
Alright,
I got this.
Yeah,
I got this side, bro.
Let me check it for you.
Oh, y'all throwing rock, paper, scissors, fork?
Okay, so we'll pick, and on this side, Hope, Hope, come up here, and Tyler, come up here.
Oh,
Jacob,
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 do I
come
get,
up.
do I get to bring my paper or no?
No,
Okay.
Oh,
Close your eyes.
Yo, if I mess this up, I'm
Close your
sorry.
eyes and finish it.
Hey, just look at it.
okay, so, quick question.
I want to look at that question.
No, stop cheating.
Who defeated Philip II?
Queen Elizabeth.
No, that's not right. Queen Elizabeth was
Good job.
first.
So Mighty Ducks, you on this one.
There's only one Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah,
No, we'll do, is it
I'm your
Dixie
mom.
here?
My dad.
So we'll give a round of applause for this team. Good job. So this is my last time. You can pass up the name tags, and I hope you guys have a good 3-day weekend. I heard you have a 3-day weekend.
Sad now. Yeah, for real, I'm
Damn.
sad.
I feel like we just met you.
I know, it's more than 5 times.
Only 5 times.
Sad.
So sad.
I legit feel like.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then.